Hi and welcome. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and I'm using the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. So if you look at the description of this video, you'll see the settings that I'm using to use the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. And with the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, I can move my head around outside in the external view. So I can look to the right, I can look to the left, I can look even all the way behind me outside. So yeah, it's completely working outside, and I'll also show you that it's working indoors. And you can still walk around via the mouse, so you can use the mouse to walk around, and you can also hold down the run command and you can run around like this. But say you want to let go of the mouse and you just want to look around with your head, you can do that as you're walking around. It just gets a whole different level of immersion when you're doing your walk around of your plane. Really amazing, and it's working. So yeah, how to do it is in the description of the video. It's the same settings I did for my Automobilista 2 videos, the car game. So I'm using the exact same settings I'm using for Automobilista 2 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And to do that, I'm using Opentrack. So if you use the inbuilt settings from Microsoft Flight Simulator, you just literally use the eye tracking and you can't look around very much at all. But with this, obviously I can just move my head around, and I can also switch to using the mouse. Now this is a big advantage. I don't know how many of you have played DCS, but you can't just switch to using your mouse when you're using head tracking. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, we can switch to using that mouse as well without having to go into options or settings. We just simply use the mouse. So I can't tell you how much better it is. It's completely working. There's literally nothing I would want to fix about it. And yeah, we'll show you inside the plane. So this is inside the plane, and we just want to show you again that we can look all the way behind us. So we turn our head and we can look all the way behind us there. I can click on the door and we can close the door while using the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, and then I can go back to center. I can look all the way behind me here to the left. You can see I can turn quite a bit, and to do that I'm only turning my head just a little bit. So yeah, I'm just looking towards the edge of the screen, but not so much as you would do with TrackIR 5. And yeah, that's really good. Now say you wanted to just hold it in a spot for a while, so like, I don't know, down here, you can do that. It's relatively steady, but say you needed to hold it up here, like, okay, we're zoomed in on something, and you can still use your head tracking to quickly click something if you need to. That's fine. But say you wanted to just hold it here, you can just pause it. So I just go and pause the head tracking, and it's paused, and now we can just move it around with the mouse like we did before. Then when we're ready to use the head tracking again, we can just release it and we're back to head tracking mode. So it's really simple. There's nothing really complicated about it, and it's completely working basically. Before, just to explain, if you didn't use the Opentrack and the settings that I've got in the description of the video, all you could do was use eye tracking, and you could just move around a little bit like this, and that's it. And that's how Microsoft has released the game. So we're waiting for a fix for that, but instead of waiting for a fix, just use Opentrack, use the settings in the description of the video, and then you can look all the way behind you there. All the way behind you there. There's literally nothing we're waiting for to get this working in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is working. It's operational, and you can get it going like that. It's also fully supported by Tobii. They supporting the Opentrack software, so you're completely allowed to use that, and it's even recommended by Tobii. So yeah. The only difference that we're doing here is I'm not using any eye tracking. This is just head tracking. So I'm not using the eye tracking component. In something like DCS, it's probably important to be able to do some eye tracking, but in this game, not so much. Like, all we really need is the head tracking. So for me, this is a complete solution. Let's try and see if we can start this plane up. So we'll go up here, and I'll just go and pause the screen, and then I'm going to click on battery 1, battery 2, click on external power. I'm just going down to here and click on APU bleed. Click the master switch, count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then click start. Go over to here, click cruise supply, click ground control, and then we're going up to here. Click on the nav, turn up the cargo, and then turn down this on the cockpit, the forward cabin and the after cabin. I'm just going to turn on this strobe and also on the beacon, and then we won't worry about the rest of the lights too much on this flight, but we will turn on all of our fuel pumps, and that's mostly everything we need to do. So we'll jump back down, and then we can release it if we want, so we can look around again, and we can look down here, but at the moment I just need to look at this. So we're going to pause it again, and you can see I'm here. So I'm just going to put it into ATSU, and then we're going to go into the AOC menu, go into flight init. Now I just put in the latest data from Navigraph, so I don't know how this is going to go, but apparently I actually needed it for this flight. So we'll see how this goes. I'm clicking on that data. Hopefully it all comes up. It's come up. We'll click on init. This is the hard screen. We'll click on init request, and hopefully it works with the latest Navigraph data. This is the first time I'm trying it, so it's worked. So that's good news. And then we're going to click on wind, and I'm just going to click on wind and quest. Wait for that to come in. And the wind request data has come in. We're going to click on return. We're going to put in our flight number. I'll just put in JST, or actually Qantas we are in at the moment. So I don't know, we'll do Q something. Q22, and then 22 for the cost index, and then 35 for the cruise flight altitude. Okay, so all that's in there, and then we can go on to our flight plan. So we've got some information in here. We'll click on the YSSY, click on a departure. We'll try and click on 16R, and we'll use Group 1, and we'll click insert. And then we'll go to YBCG, we'll click on arrival, we'll click on this ILS because that seems to be the only one, and we'll just go down if we can. Land 3A seems okay, we'll try that, and then it's all been inserted there. And then we can go and look at our performance, and then we've got all this here, so we'll just go and release it, and we'll go over to here. And we'll go into FENIX, import, and that's imported. Mass and balance, load aircraft, instant, that's done. Send to MCDU, done. Click over here, go to departure performance, sync load sheet, sync live, calculate. We've got our speeds, send to MCDU, and then go over to 1, and it's all filled in now for us. So that's all done as well, and that's, you know, enough to be able to sort of take off at this stage. And that's the golden dark start. So just very quickly, yeah, just to show you how you can sort of use it, and then we release it, and so we're back to normal, and you can use the Tobii Uncheck A5 however you want to. Yeah, just go back to this view. So we've got to get our engine started now. So the only other thing I want to do is we want to turn off these two, the packs 1 and pack 2, so they're both off. And then we're going to go and look over here somewhere. I don't know what the number is for it at the moment. There we go. So we want to make sure this is on, and then we just need to turn this to ignition and turn on the engine 2. Other things we can do while we're down here, we're going to hit this little switch for the PWS, and also go over here to switch this to TAA and put that to on. So we'll do those two things. We'll just have a little look up here and see if something's happening. Hopefully it is. So we can see 24, 25, and we could jump outside. It'd be very dangerous in real life to be doing this, but we're in a game, so we're okay. Here's our GPU. There's the engine started, and the other one should be stationary, which it is. So that's good. Just jump back to here, and we're looking for about 400. This number here to be about 400. So 300, 360, 370, 380, 390, there's 400. And then we're going to switch on the other one. That's done. And we'll wait for that one to happen. The IRS alignment, it happens in 3 minutes, so that's okay. And we'll just use it on some other screen for the moment. We're just waiting those 3 minutes. We won't do the pushback until that 3 minutes is complete. This is all okay. I don't know if it's going to link up with Navigraph. No, not at the moment. I have to set it up in here as well. But I do have Navigraph up here, I believe. See how I got Navigraph? And apparently it's all working in here. So we can get more accurate information. Oh, I've got to sign in, but I've installed the program. So there you go. Awesome. So yeah, that engine's starting up. And then we're just waiting on a few final things. And just remember, you can always go back to using it with a keyboard and mouse anytime you want to. I can't illustrate how important and how useful that is because we couldn't do that in DCS so easily. You've got to go into the settings menu, you've got to disable and then do it. Like, can't you just toggle it on and off with a keybind? But in this game, you can just toggle it on and off with a keybind. So this is actually amazing. There's no better outcome than that. Yeah, it's actually working better in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But we don't have the eye tracking, of course. So that we do have working in DCS, Digital Combat Simulator. Okay, so we're just waiting for this. I'm just confused by this, the GPWS terrain. I always get something different come up, which I've never seen before. But all I'm really concerned about is that we can get the pushback happening. So what we'll do is we'll go over here, we'll click on FENIX, then we'll click on ground services, and then we'll get rid of the GPU, if we can. Now this menu up here, if they can move the menu so it's not in the way, that would be great. But what we'll do is connect the tog and then click on start. Yeah, this toolbar, I don't know why Microsoft thinks this is a good idea, but it just shouldn't be there. It's very annoying. And also when you go outside, do you notice how you got this tab toggle EFB on down the bottom of the screen? And I don't have an easy way of removing it at the moment. So yeah, that's got to go as well, just for screenshots. But we got that happening. He's going to get us connected up to the tug. IRS align in 1 minute apparently. IR in alignment. We'll just wait a little bit just in case it's still doing its thing. So I won't actually move it. But I noticed even if you do move it, you can just go up to the top and recycle it around and it just works then. So yeah, we'll click on the parking brake off, we're pushing back. You can have a little look outside at the pushback of the plane. There we go, just stand here like you would. He's also standing out there and the plane's getting pushed back. Pretty cool. Now if you want to use the head tracking, you can do. See? So I'm using the head tracking and yeah, we can look around and I can do it while I'm walking around. I can just look over here as well as using the keyboard or the mouse. So I can move around. The keyboard is changing where I'm walking and the mouse sort of, you know, reorientates my body, and then the head's just doing the head tracking. That's just moving my head. So yeah, really good. Look how cool is that. He's done the pushback just perfect for me and he's bringing it back. And yeah, you can just do a final walk around. You can go and meet this guy out here. He's checking over everything. It's pretty cool. You can look up there, check out how it's going. Just amazing. He's going to walk away. We better get out of his way. Right, we'll jump back in the plane and we'll put on our parking brake if we can, because we don't want to go too far until we know what we're doing. We've got a vehicle over there. We've got to turn up that way, I think, and then we can get to the runway. We'll probably do this just until takeoff, so we'll see if we can get ourselves close to what we need to be doing. We're just going to put the flaps to 1. Got flaps to 1. Auto brake onto max, so we'll go and click on max there. And then the cabin's ready. Signs are not on, so I don't know what we need to put on, but we'll go and put in the seat belts. We will turn on this. Hold on. We're going down to here. We're going to turn on the seat belts. We're going to turn on the no smoking sign, and we're going to turn on this. So hopefully that's all happy now. Let's go have a look. Yeah, and the only last one is takeoff config. Now apparently if everything above is fine, then this goes away. So I'm still skipping something I haven't worked out yet with this plane. But yeah, that's all good. So I don't know if my rudder pedals are working, but hopefully they are. We'll give it a go. If not, I've got a console controller here as well and a joystick connected, so I've got all sorts of things connected. We can maybe look at our controls down here. Hydraulics, flight control. Yeah, so all I'm wanting to do is just see that it's moving that to the right and then all the way to the left. So yeah, it's working. Alright, cool. So then I can go over to here, turn off the parking brake. I'm too zoomed in, that's all. See, I can do it. And we'll just zoom out with my mouse wheel, just try and re-straighten ourselves, and then we'll turn the plane to the right. So very interesting that this aircraft is the A320 and also the A319. They can both start moving just on idle throttle. But the big one, the A321, that one needs just a little bit of boost. So yeah, you can look around. Oh, it's just amazing. And what's great about this, which I haven't mentioned yet, is you don't have to wear anything on your head. So this is just, you know, no VR, no heavy unit, no track IR, no stupid plastic on your head, no hat. Don't need to wear any hat. You can do it without headphones if you want to. So you can just literally have nothing on your head and play the game. Just sit in front of your computer monitor and look around. It's very natural. It works. And for this game, I think it's pretty much perfect. So yeah. You'll get better at it the more you use it as well. Like, you can hold it pretty steady. That's me holding it steady. You know, it's not bouncing around or anything. Alright, let's get over towards this runway and we'll see how we go. I haven't set up any of this, which is a problem, but we'll just get ourselves towards the runway. Maybe hold the brakes then and I'll have a look at that. But yeah, just showing you can taxi out with the Tobii iTracker 5. Here we go, we're toward ourselves towards the runway and put on our brakes. So we'll just go over to here. I just want to change this number. That's 35,000. That's to the right, to the right, to the right. And to the right. The two flight directors are on, and that should be okay. I haven't looked up the QNH, but you know, we're not too worried at the moment. So most things seem okay. We'll see how we go. Just try and recenter the view if I can. There we go. And we'll give it just a little bit of power. And then we're going to try and push this all the way to flight climb. We didn't set the trim, but that's okay. And then release the pedals. And so yeah, we're going along. But how cool is this, being able to look around while you're doing your takeoff? I do need to reach for my joystick. Hopefully my joystick is plugged in. And then we'll just check our speed. About 120 at the moment. 140. We can probably pull back on the stick now without a problem. And we're in the sky. Now I found if I put the gear up too quickly, it starts complaining and beeping at me, so I'm not going to do that on this flight. But what I will do is I'm going to bring in that flaps, and I'm going to disarm that spoiler, and we'll keep climbing, and then we're going to bring in the gear once we're above a little bit of altitude. So we'll bring that gear in, and no warnings this time. That's great. So I think you just need to wait a little bit because I'm doing it too quickly. I'm playing DCS and it's like I'm 1 meter off the ground and I'm putting the gear in. I think you're meant to go left here, although I would go right just to show you the lovely scenery of Sydney here. But if we can get an external view, we're all good. And look at that, so it's actually working in the external view as well, the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. So I can look around while using the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 from the external view. I do want to jump back in just because I want to turn on the autopilot. So if I tap this button, nah, it's going a little bit too crazy for the autopilot to engage. So I'll try and get it back to a bit more normal situation. There we go. We've been able to put the autopilot on, but it's not happy at the moment. We'll keep turning it around manually and we'll have a look at the view. I didn't work out the departure information or anything on this slide, I just chose something randomly. And I can tell just looking at the map down here, but the way we're choosing to depart isn't the best way. But as far as showing you the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, at least there is something out there showing that it can work in this game, and I'm sure once people jump on, they'll realize that it's actually working. I'm using Opentrack, and yeah, it's great. It's really a complete solution. So we'll just keep going along here. And not to mention, it also works in DCS, Digital Combat Simulator. It does work in Euro Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator 2. So it does work in that. And it is working in Automobilista 2 as well. So, but in a game like this, Microsoft Flight Simulator, where you just want to look at the scenery while you're flying, you don't need to do a lot. Like once you're in the cruise, it's very easy just to switch on the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 and just start having a look around. And it's natural, you know, you're just looking how you would in real life. I wonder if it will let me turn it on now. It's letting me turn it on, so I don't know if that's a good idea, but nah, it's a discontinuity. You can tell, like it's not gonna go anywhere because it's not taking us to our destination. So that's okay. We'll just turn that off for now. And those sort of things, of course, you'd be able to fix. That's not the point of the video so much. We're just wanting to demo to you that we can take off. So I probably won't complete this flight. The previous video I did do a complete flight though, so if you do need to see a full flight with the landing and the ILS and all that sort of stuff, you can check out that video, which I have done with the A320. This video is more just to show you the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 and give you an impression of what it would be like to use. Say you wanted to walk around the cabin, so I don't know, it would be a very dangerous time to be doing that, but say you wanted to walk around the cabin, go out here, like does the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 work out here is the question. And so yes, it does. So I don't know, you would get to one of these windows, gotta lower myself down, but say now you want to use the head tracker. Look at that, I'm using the head tracker from the window looking at Sydney. How cool is that? And then of course you can look behind you, look in front of you, you can look all the way there like you could in real life, like a passenger, and then look back down. So I mean, that's just amazing, isn't it? That's just the ultimate, to be able to look in here, use your head tracker to look around. Yeah, you have to experience this. It's just incredible. And being able to look across like that at your next passenger, you can look up to see if the warning lights are on, or okay, the passenger seatbelt lights on. That's just the ultimate. Very, very cool, amazing. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like and subscribe if you want to see more. But excellent little plane, this FENIX A320, and yeah, that's the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. Thank you for watching. Hi, so how to install it. So using the instructions in the bottom of the video, basically we're going to GitHub, this link here. So you get to GitHub, this website, and you'll notice there's an option down the bottom that says assets. Click on assets, and down here you'll see the version of the Opentrack. You can use Opentrack 2023 or 2024. So far I found both of them working, but if you want to use 2023, we're just going to Opentrack 2023.free.o. Make sure you look under assets. If it's not up, click the little triangle, and then next to that you'll see Win32 setup. Left click that, download that, and then install. So then once you've done that, you'll get this program which is called Opentrack. So you want to run Opentrack, and then you got to follow these instructions. So I'll try and go through it with you. Run Opentrack, set input to UDP over network. So that's this option here, set UDP over network. Then you're going to set output to the freetrack 2.0 enhanced. So that's this option here, freetrack 2.0 enhanced. Then we've got filter. This will be on something, I think it's XLA. Just go all the way to the top and then select nothing. So it's blank. So that's what we mean by keep filter blank. Then it says step 3, click on mapping. So we're going over to here where it says mapping, left click on that. And we're just making sure that it looks like this. So red line, red line. If you've just done a fresh install, basically you don't need to do anything here. Just make sure it looks like that and then click OK. Then once we've done that, we're going to click on options. To see how I say click options. So we're going to click options, and it brings up this. So this is where it's a little bit complicated. Uncheck the option for center at startup. So this is this option here, center at startup. We want to make sure there's no tick in the box. Then once we've done that, we're clicking output. So along the top you'll see I say click output. So we're clicking at output up the top here. And then in here, you notice I've disabled a number of them. So there's roll. So it was on something. I want you to click on that and then click on disabled. So roll is disabled. X is disabled. So left clicking on it, click on disabled. Y is disabled. And Z is disabled again by left clicking on it and clicking it to disabled. Then we've got here, click relative translation tab. So you'll see along the top this says relative translation. Click that. And then under here, it says tick disable for Z. So you'll notice here it says disable for Z, for zoom and Z axis. I've put a tick next to that. That's what I've done. And then on the other side, we've got tick disable effect by roll. So you see where it says disable effect by roll? I've gone and put a tick on that because we don't need to do roll. And then click OK. So we click OK, and then we're back to here. And then basically all you're doing is you're clicking start. So click on start, and what you should notice, if you have the Tobii eye tracker connected and plugged in, which I don't just a second, but we'll show you how easy it is. So I've just plugged in the Tobii eye tracker, and then I'll click on stop and then click start again, and you'll notice this pink thing up here will start moving. See how it moves when I turn my head around? So as long as that's moving after you click start, you're all set up and ready to go. There's nothing else to do in Microsoft Flight Simulator. You don't have to load the game in Steam VR mode or anything like that. You just load Microsoft Flight Simulator as normal, go into the game, and you don't have to be in any specific view. It'll work in any view while you've got it enabled. The only extra thing you may want to do is just set up your keys or your bindings for this. That's about all that's extra, but you could go into options and then just see how you've got bindings. So I had a binding to center, I had a binding to start tracking, I had a binding to stop tracking, and I had a binding to restart tracking. You just do that by clicking bind and then doing whatever key combination you want. But other than that, like, that's it. That's how you set it up. I hope you found that helpful, and enjoy your day.